Hi, I'm William, and in this video, I will teach you how to speak any language fluently, especially English. Be sure to watch to the end because I will tell you the one trick that took me from only understanding individual words in Chinese to being able to understand and speak fluently, even when they spoke very fast. This all happened in under 2 months. Let's take it from the top. One of the difficulties of living abroad is the language. You'll be limited in many ways if you can't communicate with people because they speak a language you just can't understand. Some of you want to be able to watch movies or listen to music in other languages. I'm here to help. Usually, the proof that you can teach anything is that you can learn it yourself. That's why every master was once a student. I studied French in middle school for 3 years, but I got out of school able to speak just a couple of bonjours and bonsoirs. Sad, right? However, I could speak 4 languages fluently before I was 6 years old, and now I can actually speak 7 languages fluently, although French is still not one of them. I'm sure I'll learn French properly someday. As you've noticed, social media has even brought the world together and it has become sort of a global village. More and more people are learning English and other languages each day just to try and tune in properly to what is happening globally. But more important than being able to read or write in any language is being able to have a simple conversation with the particular language. I intend to make this as practical and informal as possible because mastery of speaking actually, I believe, begins informally. To speak English fluently, number one, or to speak any language fluently, number one, imitate. I was speaking English and reading newspapers in English by the time I was 6 years old. But I got through middle school and able to speak French, which I learned formally every day. What was the difference? Simply imitation. You must learn to imitate. And that means say it exactly as you hear it. Don't restructure it into your native language. Try to understand without translating. The problem with translating is that it makes you slow and it affects your grammar and sentence structure. And these grammar rules, they vary for different languages. When I began learning to speak Chinese, this is one of the mistakes I was making. I was trying to speak Chinese back and forth using English as a format. It's a normal thing to try and understand, especially in the beginning. But often I made mistakes with sentence structure because at certain times I found myself trying to correct a Chinese person about how to speak Chinese. That was so strange. I quickly realized my mistake and I started imbibing words and sentences exactly the way I hear it. As time went on, the structures began to make more sense, and the words that I learned before made more meaning as it expanded into other examples. When someone says a word or sentence to you, even if you don't understand all of it, use the whole sentence the same way you heard it. Always imitate. Now, point number 2 is what I call R&R, repeat and repeat. The second thing to learn to do is to repeat. I read a book once, and this book said that when we repeat something about 8 times, it begins to stick. Repetition is the mother of all learning, as the saying goes. I'm not sure about how many times, but I am quite sure that repetition makes things stick. I think practice doesn't necessarily make perfect, but practice certainly makes permanent. It is essential that you use repetitively what you learn. Just say the word a few times. Voice it out to other people and use it. It will become easier to remember and use each time. When you hear a new word or sentence, you can repeat it a few times in your head. One of the benefits of repeating is that it aids the imitation process. This reinforces it in your mind and your subconscious mind picks it up. Always repeat and repeat. Number 3, patience. This is rather odd, but you need to be patient when you're learning a new language. Don't try to understand everything at once. You need time to learn and practice. Some things make sense only after a while. Think of it this way. Learning a language is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Sometimes I hear a particular word and it's exciting. I know, however, that after that incident, I will probably forget the word. But I don't bother because I also know that I will come across the word again and it will begin to stick. Sometimes I intentionally don't ask the meaning of certain words until I've heard it enough times that the word is already in my mind. When learning a new language, you won't notice improvements every day. Just follow the process. Just continue patiently. Periodically, you'll notice sudden changes and improvements. This happened to me many times when I was learning to speak Chinese. At first, I couldn't differentiate the sound, but I kept learning individual words. And then the sound suddenly became clear after a while. I just noticed that one day. That's how it works. Also, I couldn't understand when they spoke very fast. But I kept listening, and then suddenly one day I realized, hey, I can understand a sentence even if they said it fast. So, don't rush the language learning process. Be patient in your learning. Number 4, learn and listen from multiple sources. Take some time to actually learn some basics of the language and also to learn some vocabulary on your own. You can use Google to find many sources. There are many apps such as Duolingo that can help you learn step by step. You should also have a translation app such as Google Translate or the Translate app on iOS. This will help you understand certain words. I personally prefer Google Translate because I also get to read, for example, the pinyin for Chinese, which is something Translate in iOS doesn't offer. In learning to speak, one of the YouTube channels that was helpful to me was Chinese Mandarin Corner. I'll leave a link in the description down below in case you want to check it out. You should also listen from different sources. One source can give you a limited amount of variety of input, no matter how you look at it. Everyone's vocabulary and way of speaking is limited in one way or another. Listening to different people can even help you understand the same thing much better. So, do well to learn and listen from multiple sources. Number 5, be consistent. Lastly, be consistent in your learning, particularly listening. Consistency compounds. I can't explain how this works, but it's like magic. It just works. As Einstein said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Learning a lot of things hastily in 1 week and skipping the next 6 weeks is totally useless. It was Bruce Lee also who said, I don't fear the man who has done 10,000 kicks in 1 day, but I fear the man who has done 1 kick every day for 10,000 days. I think one of the essential things to learning a language is to have someone who constantly speaks to you in that language. In my case, it was the teachers I work with. This is why kids grow up speaking a language easily before they can even read and write. Because parents and relatives are consistently speaking to them even though they don't understand. So just be consistent, because consistency compounds. Now on to the one trick. Finally, to my one special trick, combining all 5 steps: imitate, repeat, patience, different sources, and consistency. This is if you want to hear and speak fluently. This has nothing to do with reading and writing. So this is what I did. Every morning, I turned on the TV. I tuned into any Chinese channel at all. It doesn't matter what it was. And then I just listened. I don't really watch because I'm usually busy with something else. But I listen, and the trick is to listen for the words you already know. You're not trying to understand the sentences. You're not trying to translate into your native language. Just listen. For every word that is said, which I already knew, I will reinforce it by repeating the same word in my mind. Gradually, it became so much easier to understand. I did this for about a month. After only 1 month, I could hear and understand Chinese, even when it was spoken really fast. Now, let me say that I had some basics already, as in I knew some words already. So this won't work when you're starting from ground zero. You have to know some words. So in conclusion, I'll give you this special bonus. Let me give you some information breakdown that no one is talking about. To learn how to master words, start by listening to the sounds of individual words. To learn how to master hearing, start by listening to individual words that you already know in a sentence. To learn to master speaking, just speak. Whether it is right or wrong, just speak. But it is key to speak with an open mind, that you will learn the correct thing in case you realize an error in your words or sentence. Lastly, you'll never learn every single word. Jeez, do you know how many words there are? Just keep calm and enjoy the process. Thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe, and also hit the bell notification button for future videos. I'll see you in the next one. Love and peace.